Alright, I'd like to talk a little bit about the learning proposal you'll be submitting shortly. Um, that's assignment 2 in the subject outline. So what are the elements of a successful learning proposal? Firstly, there's the SWOT analysis, there's needs outlined, there's a clear plan, and a strong idea. So a SWOT analysis looks at your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And you can apply this to various things. It's probably worthwhile applying it to yourself to start with as a kind of self-assessment exercise, but it's also useful to apply it to the proposal you're putting forward. In terms of needs, we need to think a little bit about why are you here? What do you want to learn? Why are you engaging in this particular subject? And where do you want to go? Think about yourself after you've completed this subject, or maybe next year. And what do you want to be able to do as a result of completing this subject? So outlining your learning needs is critical to working out what you can do. Plan is outlined this way. We have objectives, strategies, resources, and schedule. So this is a typical plan that you'll need to develop for lots of different things. Firstly, you need to say, what's my objective? What do I want to learn? You may have a couple of objectives, but don't have too many. Usually 3 to 5 is a good idea, possibly even 2. You probably wouldn't want to have 11 objectives or 17 objectives. That's too many, and you won't be able to meaningfully attack each of them. Once you've got objectives, you can work out what are your strategies. How will you achieve your objectives? There's probably a few different angles to achieving your objectives, and you need to work out which one will you take. Thirdly, you'll need to work out what resources do you need. That might be software, that might be website hosting, that might be learning resources, books and videos, for instance, that deal with the particular technologies you've chosen. And finally, what's your schedule? What do you plan to do when? So that helps you to make your plan realistic. There's not a huge amount of time to complete all of this work, so we need to be clear about how it's realistically going to all take place. Finally, you have your idea. What will you build? Who is it for? What technologies will it use? How does it satisfy your learning objectives? And it's probably good right now to start with a few sketches, wireframes and diagrams to think a little bit about what it will look like in kind of an illustrated form. So here are a few examples. A workflow tool which can be used by team members located at different physical locations to manage their day-to-day work. So there's plenty of these tools out there designed for different purposes, and you could design a workflow tool that focused on a particular task, or you could design it to be general. A website designed to serve the needs of an established community of literature enthusiasts. It will help the community maintain accurate member records, lists of books we've read and plan to read, and our individual and collective responses to the books, and as well as the social meeting schedule. So it's basically a book club managed on a particular website that's designed to cater to a book club's needs. Here's some more examples. A resource for teaching server-side technologies to Year 11 and 12 students in the form of a website that will include constructed examples of each of the technologies, a how-to guide, and links to further information for further research. So that's pretty self-explanatory, but teaching using websites is quite difficult and requires a range of technologies to be employed simultaneously. Finally, we have a kind of business website. So it's a small business website for a sushi restaurant through which customers can find all the details of production in the restaurant, get more information about the food, and leave some messages. Moreover, customers can also vote on which kind of food is the best. That's a typical website that you might find for a sushi restaurant. Some shorter versions. So here's a focus on a particular interaction design for a mobile optimized shopping site. So that might be a more focused project. Port a game to the web using new JavaScript libraries. So porting software is complicated, but teaches you a lot about new libraries if you do it. Develop a plugin for a well-known content management system. So WordPress is a content management system, for instance, and you could develop a plugin that achieves a particular result. And develop a web app which integrates with social media APIs. So that's another perfectly good project. So those are more focused projects. The previous ones were more holistic projects. It's up to you what you want to choose, but you just need to justify it based on your learning needs. And there's other kinds as well. So have a chat if you'd like to do something quite specific. So there's a process. We'd like to see a draft posted to your DMT blog fairly soon. So that can be done by week 2, but it's due in week 3. We'd also like you to review your peers' work, post it as blog comments, and then in week 4 your final proposal should be published at your website in Valid HTML. So it's coming up soon. Basically, in the first couple of weeks you really need to nail down what you want to learn, and then as you work through the next couple of weeks you refine that proposal and focus it down to specific things. It's 500 words, by the way, so it's not a huge amount of words. Brevity is probably better than huge amounts of description at this stage, but you need to be specific. Don't be too open with the things you want to do, as that will mean that your project takes a little while to get started. If you're more specific and you're clear about what you want to do, you'll find it easier to get your project going. All right, thank you.